Okay, everybody, in this pro video analysis, we're going to be taking a look at Jo Wilfred Tsonga, and in particular, we're going to be looking at his split step. What exactly does he do? What do the pros do? And then also his backhand volley. So here's a couple things I want you to look at and pick up. A lot of times people think the split step is a simultaneous jumping. So they come forward towards the net and their feet are landing at the same exact time. That's what they think it is. But I think a lot of times it's actually a stutter step. And if you look at the players who are really the best at moving around the net, you'll see it's not necessarily timed. So we're going to take a close look at that so you can see it for yourself. The other thing that we want to talk about is he's going to be hitting a backhand volley. And what I really like what he does in his backhand volley is his preparation, and he slides through the shot. There's a lot of rec players that struggle with that. Not only are they preparing wrong, in other words, they're taking the racket this way and then back this way, but they also don't move through the shot. They kind of stomp volley, or they kind of stop right at the point of contact. So I want you to pay attention to the preparation and then the finish, how it finishes towards the target. And if you want to use a golf analogy, when you take your racket back from this continental grip into a backhand volley position, you'll notice that the face is kind of lofted up. So if this was a golf club, this face might be a 7-iron. This would be a 9-iron. It's really lofted up. This would be more of a wood where it's kind of straight. These guys are leading with the bottom edge, and they keep that consistent. That's the thing, is they might have a 7-iron here, a 7-iron there, and a 7-iron there. And that's one of the things that allows for a better volley, because you're in the right position the whole time through this rather short swing. Now, one thing you don't want to do, and you'll see it does not happen with the best players, but common in rec players, is this golf head here will change. It'll go back here. It's a 9-iron or a sand wedge. Here's an 8, here's a 7-iron. Then it might finish like this, and maybe worse yet like this, and then it's in the net. So let's take a look at Jo Wilfred Tsonga so you can see firsthand exactly what he does with the split step, stutter step combination, and also the backhand volley technique. Okay, so we're picking up the video here with Jo Wilfred. He's on his way to the net. Basically, he's transitioning to the net. So here he's quickly closing in. And I'm going to pause it right here, because right at this second in time, you see that both his feet are actually up in the air. So he's airborne. He's not sure if he's going to be needing to cut left or right. But watch what happens when his feet land. Notice the right foot has just landed. I'm going to highlight that, but the left foot is still up in the air. You can see that that one has not quite landed, so it's not a simultaneous landing of the feet. If I just push this forward a little bit more, you can see the other foot, the left foot, just lands right about there, and it's at a different time. So I think it's more appropriate to think of the split step as a stutter step and not so much as a unified double landing of the feet at the same time. Now you'll see, if you really watch, his feet are sliding. Even though this is hardcourt, he's sliding through. This is how athletic he is. And now we're going to pick up the second point that I wanted to make in this video, which is his backhand volley at the highest point back and the finish. In particular, the finish. We're trying to get rid of the flip finish and keep the angle the same. So if this was an open face, if you want to make a golf analogy, let's say that's open, like a 7-iron would be an open face, you'll see that as he goes forward, that angle of openness remains the same. If you check in again here, it's still about a 7-iron, and even here is still about a 7-iron. He's not flipping it, because if you flip it, it's going to just be tough to try to get it to time it just right. So you want to leave your racket at the proper angle for as long as possible. You can see he's very athletic here. He's going to put on the brakes. But if you were to imagine, his racket here is not doing any of this finish all the way around this side of his body like a lot of rec players do. As a matter of fact, you can make a strong argument it's really still pointed towards the target this late. And you see he holds it and he doesn't change it here even after a couple more steps. Alright, so that's the takeaway on this particular volley.